What's up YouTube? My name is Adrian, my YouTube channel is Chronic Concussion, and I have NHL 13 Winter Classic gameplay for you. I wanted to put this up on YouTube because I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and I always love to watch Toronto play Detroit. You know, to me it's always a fun game, and you know, especially to watch it when they're in Detroit. The atmosphere seems you know, so good with the Detroit fans and the Detroit and Toronto a bit of a rivalry, not as much anymore because they're in separate conferences, but I think they're always games are always fun when those two teams get together. And also because this game might not actually happen in real life because of the NHL lockout, which I have some thoughts about that later on. But first thing I want to mention is this idea that I sort of got a couple days ago, is to make sort of an NHL 13 gameplay commentary, Hockey Night in Canada type thing. That sounds a bit confusing, but basically what I want to do is to do an NHL 13 gameplay commentary, probably a live commentary, on Saturday nights, and then use you know, use two teams that would play on that day. So I think the first Hockey Night in Canada is supposed to be Toronto and Montreal, and if the lockout actually happens, I wanted to sort of, you know, replace that, because being a hockey fan, you know, especially a Canadian hockey fan, Saturday night hockey is like basically a ritual, and not having that is going to be really disappointing. So you know, the best way I could think of to replace it is obviously NHL 13, considering I have a concussion and I can't actually play hockey right now. And speaking of my concussion, this video is about a little longer than 16 minutes, and that's because of my concussion. I really don't feel like I have the mental capacity to edit a 16-minute video and bring it down to 10 or 12 minutes. At least not a game like NHL 13. So I just sort of cut out the broadcast animations in between whistles that NHL 13 shows. And so if I don't think I can talk for 16 minutes also, so I'll probably just put up a song at the end of the video. So the next thing I want to talk about is my opinion of NHL 13, because I wanted to do this when the game actually came out, because I have an EA season ticket, so I got the 3 days early access, and I played that a lot on the weekend before it came out, and formed a pretty good opinion about the game. But you know, I had some problems doing it, and I just didn't feel like putting up any videos, so you know, I waited, and now it's, I think, 3 weeks late, but nonetheless, here it is. So the first thing is probably the most important feature they were talking about is the skating engine, and I think it's really cool what they've done. You know, you can really see the explosive starts, and you can see the fast players, you know, how fast they really are, like Darren Helm, Mason Raymond, Carl Hagelin. Those are some of the fastest guys in the leagues. Michael Grabner is a really fast guy too. So I think it's really cool that you can actually see that separation between some of the fast players and some of the not so fast players. So yeah, I think that's really cool. One problem that I have with this is, I don't know if it's going to be a problem for other people, but I get pinned to the boards really easily by the computer. You know, if I sort of get the pucks by the board and I try to do a quick cut, sort of in between the computer playing the boards, even if I'm past him and there's no way of him even getting a check on me, he'll grab me somehow and throw me against the boards, and I think that's very unrealistic because A, I'm already past him and I can clearly see that I'm pulled to him by some sort of invisible magnetic force, and B, players don't get pinned to the boards just by, skating by. They'll either try to stick check them or body check them, but, they don't pin them against the boards like that. But, I haven't really seen anybody complain or comment on that, and so maybe it's just me because I play against the computer more than I play against real people. So yeah, that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is be a GM mode in NHL 13, because personally that's my favorite mode. I love the manager aspect of NHL. I love trading players and progressing players and trying to build the best team possible. Without, cheating, without having, like, Ovechkin and Malkin and Crosby all on the same team, because that's clearly not fair. But, so yeah, that's my favorite part, and I really like what they did with the player progression, because, for the most part, it is pretty realistic. Like, you can actually find 3.5, 4-star players in the later rounds, which is something you could not do at all in NHL 12. Like, I remember a player either had good potential or good overall for a young guy in the later rounds. Like, he'd either be a 70 overall when you first draft him, but his potential is C, or he'd be like a 52 overall, but his potential is like a B- or a B, which I don't think that's quite fair. So I think it's easier to find to actually draft players in the later rounds that'll be useful to your team later on. One thing I found though was that the player growth doesn't vary by much. The first GM mode I did, James Van Riemsdyk on the Toronto Maple Leafs grew from, I think he's an 82, and he grew to a 90 because somehow I simulated the entire playoffs and won the Stanley Cup, which was, I found hilarious. But, so yeah, he went up by 8, and then the next GM mode I did with Toronto, I only made it to the first round of the playoffs, and he went up to an 89, so I think 3 rounds of the playoffs and actually winning the Stanley Cup is a huge difference than getting eliminated in the first round. So that's just one example. Another one is Sven Barchi he's in the Calgary Flames organization. After 1 year, no matter where you put him, whether you put him in back to the juniors, whether you put him in the minors, or whether you put him up with the NHL team, he'll be like in between 83 and 85, not higher than that or not lower than that. And I think if he goes from with like a 67 to an 80 whatever, mid 80s in the minors, that's one thing. But based on that, if you put him in the NHL for a whole year and he scores like 40 points, I think that's more valuable time than being in the juniors. So I think that his overall, based on that, should go up by a lot more if you keep him in the NHL for the whole year. So, but that's also just with the first roster update. So I don't know if they're going to change potentials and how players grow like that. But yeah, so overall though, I think it's a really, it's really cool. I really enjoy Be a GM mode. Oh, right there, see, pinned me, even though I was already past him. Sorry, that's a while back. So the next thing I want to talk about is the NHL lockout. Because being, I'm 17 years old, and I remember the first NHL lockout, or not the first one, I should say, the first one I experienced, which was in 2004, 2005, and it really sucked. Just a little side story. So I was going into grade 4 that year, and my grade 4 teacher every year brought her class to Toronto Maple Leafs practices, like 1 or 2 a year. And then I finally get to her class, and then the lockout happened, so she can't take us to an NHL practice, which sucked for me. So yeah, I was really disappointed about that. It's just a little side story. So I think, you know, I don't know that much about the business side of the NHL because, you know, I am only 17 years old. I don't know how much revenue they actually make, how much each side gets, or how much exactly each side is asking for. But I think it's a little bit silly because, you know, it's billionaire owners fighting over a couple $1 million. It's like scrap money to them. And, you know, the league is growing, and I don't think it's fair for the owners to cut the players' salaries because, you know, it's the players that are making them money. Without the players, they don't have a product to put out there, and you know, they don't have, you know, most of the owners have their own businesses. You know, that's obviously how they got to own an NHL team, and so, you know, they've got their own businesses that make them money. So, like, do they really need like $50 million extra when they're making probably 3 times that with their own companies or organizations that they own? So I don't really think that's fair for most of the owners. You know, that's not all of them. But we live in a world of excess, and people want more than what they actually need. So I'm pretty much done talking for now. I hope to make more NHL commentaries and, you know, other sorts of commentaries because, you know, I just like it. Alright, so I hope you enjoy this video, and I'm going to leave you with Hanging by a Thread by Billy Talent because they are awesome. Thanks for watching.
Hello, 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 my darling. Have we reached the end? 'Cause when the